Hey y'all, wanted to do a quick review between the JBL Charge 4 speaker here and the upgraded JBL Charge 5 speaker here. So I'm going to go over similarities and differences between the two to help you decide which one's right for you, if you need to upgrade, etc. So starting off, they do look a little bit different. This is the Charge 4 again. You're going to see it just has the little logo right here, whereas the JBL Charge 5, it has like the big JBL logo up here up front. So it does stand out a little bit more. Each of these do have a charging indicator. So the JBL 5 is right here. It's like a light that'll indicate how much charge you have on your speaker. Whereas this speaker, it's just these dots right here that's gonna indicate your charge, but they both do the same thing. The battery life between these two speakers is also the same. So you get 20 hours of continuous use with the JBL Charge 4, and then 20 hours as well of continuous use with the JBL Charge 5. Now, as far as the buttons and the features themselves, they're both very similar, really no difference. Each of these do have the power buttons here, Bluetooth buttons, volume control, play pause buttons, etc. So you're gonna get the same buttons here on each of these. And then as far as the dimensions, these are, as you can tell, are like the same length, same weight, very similar as far as size and weight and everything like that. Now, one of the major differences between these two, so each of these are waterproof. However, the JBL 5, this is rated to be dustproof, waterproof, and shock resistance, whereas the JBL Charge 4 is just waterproof. So with this, you're gonna get an extra protection. And then these edges here, like I said, it's shockproof. So what that means is if you're dropping it, like if it falls out of your bag or something, it's gonna be less likely to break than the Charge 4 because these are like a harder, more firm rubber on the edges here, protecting your speaker a little bit more. Whereas this is more like a thin plastic, so it'd be a little more likely to chip, in my opinion. So this plastic is not as durable, is not as good at protecting the speaker as the JBL Charge 5 is. When it comes to sound quality, the JBL Charge 5 does have a slightly better sound quality. So obviously if you use the JBL 4, you know the sound quality is fantastic, but also the JBL the 5 does have better sound quality. Now let me turn these around so you can kind of just see what they look like overall. One other different feature between these two is that on the bottom, the feet on these, on the Charge 5, it is grippier. So you're gonna see if I put it on here, it's a little bit harder for me to move. Whereas the 4, although it does have feet, I feel like it's a little bit easier to move around. So I think it does give it some kind of resistance when you put it on there. But as you can see, I can still move it around, whereas the JBL Charge 5, it's super grippy and doesn't really go anywhere. So it's gonna stay on a surface. The Charge 5 is better. Next on the back here, each of these still have the charge button. This one on the Charge 5 though is on the outside, whereas the Charge 4, you gotta flip it open, but you still have your charge, aux cable, and USB, and then that thing just closes up. And then the Charge 5, you just have your Bluetooth right here. So this one actually does not have an aux cable on it. So you might have to get some kind of adapter if you wanted to use an aux cable for your Charge 5. Now overall, having tested both of them, like I already mentioned, I do notice a slightly better sound quality with the JBL Charge 5. It's just more crisp. I wouldn't say it's a major difference, but it is a better sound quality. You get some extra features here like the shock resistance and things like that. However, like I said, this one does have the aux cable, whereas the JBL Charge 5 does not. Both are quality speakers, but I would say that this one is slightly better. So the upgraded version, you're definitely gonna get a little bit more features, but both are great. Really can't go wrong with either one.